Hello everyone and welcome to my Mirror's Edge 2 potential storylines video. The E3 2013 trailer for Mirror's Edge 2 actually gave us a pretty big clue as to what's going on in the storyline of the sequel, so we should probably just get started. In the actual trailer itself, Faith was inside a building owned by Sylvine Securities. Now, Sylvine Securities is a security company that specializes in surveillance and provides cameras to the city itself. So, you know, obviously a pretty big enemy of Faith. The knowledge I'm getting this from comes from the comic books, the 6-part comic books that came out right after Mirror's Edge 1 came out. These have they're basically an origin story, right? They go back to when Faith was just finishing training as a runner. Now, the reason why this is so big is because EA actually came out and said that Mirror's Edge 2 will be an origin story. So that's huge. I mean, obviously they will take place around the same time, and they, you know, we can get a ton of hints as to the possible storyline from the comic books. Actually, one thing that's huge though, and part of that is during the comic book, Faith actually got her tattoo. Like during I think it was like part 2 of the comic book, Faith was getting her tattoo. This is huge because obviously in the trailer itself for Mirror's Edge 2, she was getting her tattoo. So, I mean, this could straight up be the game of the comic. They might have just taken the storyline of the comic and turned it into a game. I hope that's not what they did because I want a new story, but you know, it'll give us good insight into the time period. I'm hoping that the game takes place right after the comic, but let's go into exactly what was going on during the comics. There's a lot to go through, so I'm basically just going to give you a brief summary of what happened in the comic and what I think will be relevant in the game. In the comic book itself, Faith was just finishing becoming a runner. There was evidence to support that her dad was still, you know, around. She knew he was alive, but she got in contact with him, and they uncovered some very interesting secrets. He was being hunted and attacked by Sylvine Securities because of a chip, and this chip was actually really big. Her mom, before she died, was actually working for the bad guys for a while and developing a really dynamic camera. This camera was supposed to be like really awesome and way better than all the other cameras. Now, in the trailer, they were also, I mean, it appeared as though they were advertising a camera. In the comic book, they didn't lead us to believe that the camera was, you know, an eye or anything like that. Like, it wasn't like a contact lens, but in the trailer, they made it look that way, but, you know, that's the power of a reboot. They have that ability to change that. So, oh yeah, and by the way, because this is a reboot game, anything from the comic book could easily be changed from, you know, the comic book to the game. So Dad is still around, he's still kicking. They're having problems with the mom. She was having an affair, and she was working for the bad guys. So, that, you know, obviously that'll create some family tension. I mean, I would love to see the dad in Mirror's Edge 2. That would be huge for me. You know, because the dad is he could be such an interesting character in Mirror's Edge 2 that I feel like they'd be losing such a big opportunity to put him in. And, you know, the mom's already dead, so she's not going to be in there. But also there were some other characters, people the dad worked with when he was fighting in the November riots. Like Pope, for example. Pope died in Mirror's Edge 1, but he's still alive in Mirror's Edge 2 because it takes place beforehand. So, you know, that's a pretty big thing. Also, when Faith got her tattoo, she was in a professional building, whereas in the trailer it did not look professional at all. It looked, you know, it looked like a hideout. You know, it was like an underground tattoo job. So, I mean, once again, power of a reboot, they can change whatever they want. So, Sylvine Securities, they're, you know, working on this special awesome camera, but in Mirror's Edge 2, Faith actually ended up giving the chip for that camera back to the company. So, at least that was my understanding of it. So, you know, if the Mirror's Edge 2 were to take place right after the comic, maybe they have to hunt down the camera, maybe they have to look for it, you know, fight for the chip back, because the only reason why she gave the chip to him was to save her father's life, so maybe they're going to try to steal it back, something like that. Not 100% sure, but I'd definitely like to see something like that. I mean, obviously Sylvine Securities is going to be pretty big in the next game, but, you know, Parandella Kruger was also there. You know, they were also in the building with Sylvine Securities. I don't know why they would be there, because as far as I know, they're competitors. And really, that's just as far as I know. I'm not completely sure about that. They both do a lot of work for the government, so it could easily be, you know, it could easily be like a merger or something like that. I don't know. I mean, they weren't merged in Mirror's Edge 1, so I don't know why that would be the case at all, actually. But let's go on and talk about some characters that are going to be, that potentially could be in Mirror's Edge 2. First, we have Drake. Drake was, he was technically a character in the first game, but he wasn't like a big deal. They mentioned him, but he didn't actually have like a voice actor or anything. He was just someone that they occasionally mentioned. So he's like the tech guy, right? He's the guy who works out all the technology they have. He's the one who sets up the computers. He's, you know, he's that guy. I don't know if he even actually does running. He might. I'm not sure. But he's one character I would definitely like to see in Mirror's Edge 2. Another character is Leaf. She, I think she's actually technically an X-runner. I'm not 100% sure on that one. I think she might be an X-runner, but she's she's an entertaining character, at least in the comics she is. So it'd be fun to see her actually featured in Mirror's Edge 2. Also, Krieg, once again, he was technically in Mirror's Edge 1, but I'm not sure if you could, I mean, he didn't even have a voice. I mean, he was there for maybe 5 seconds wearing like an orange outfit. That was it. That was all you saw of him. So I would like to actually see some more of him. Once again, Merc should be back. He should be younger. And you know, I don't care that much about Merc. I'm gonna be honest. Merc is not a character that I feel attached to, but he will probably be in Mirror's Edge 2. That's just a likely thing that you will probably see. So those are some of the characters. Of course, I'd love to see more runners. Actually, I would love to see a larger quantity of runners in general. As far as we know, there's only like 10 runners in the entire city. I want to see like 50. I'm going to be honest, I want to see like a ton of runners. I want to see a whole collection of them. You know, just a whole like society of underground people. And actually, one thing that I really want to see in Mirror's Edge 2 is the actual livelihood of the city. I want to see citizens get angry at the government. That's not something you ever saw in the first game. You know, I want to see the citizens rally together, and even though the November riots are done, it would still make me happier as a player to, you know, as a gamer of the game, to actually, you know, see that city come to life and fight the government. I don't want to see them just sit there. You know, I mean, the runners can't be the only ones that are angry at the government, right? So that's what I personally want to see from Mirror's Edge 2. That would be fantastic. But that leads me to my question to you guys. What do you want to see from Mirror's Edge 2 from a storyline perspective? I just want to see more character development. I want to see more characters, and I want to know more about them, more of their backstory. But, I mean, tell me in the comments, though, what do you guys want to see from Mirror's Edge 2? I'm really curious to see. Very interested to know what everyone wants. But that leads me to the end of the video, so I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed, or a dislike if you didn't. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.